Hello, and welcome to our Fall 2017 4-H Leader Update meeting for Alpena County. We're going to be going over some state updates, Alpena County 4-H events, important deadlines coming up, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. My name's Helen Ann Cordes. I'm the Alpena County 4-H Program Coordinator. I've been in this position about 4 years now, and I love every single minute of it. Each day is different, which is the best part about my job. One thing I wanted to go over is our MSU Civil Rights Statement. We, Michigan State University, pride ourselves on being open to everyone, without regard to race, color, national origin, gender identity, religion, age, height, weight, disability, political beliefs, sexual orientation, marital status, family status, or veteran status. So we're open to everyone. This includes our 4-H clubs. So as club leaders, you're kind of the front line of this to ensure that your club's open to everyone. The "And Justice for All" poster that's displayed here, that's something we should have at all our 4-H events and activities. It is displayed at the MSU Extension conference room and in the Merchants building. So if you do have meetings there, it is already displayed. One thing I always like to go over at our leader update meetings is our pledges. So we should always be doing the American and the 4-H pledge at our 4-H activities. So if you have a club meeting or a special event or activity. So a couple notes, we always start with the American pledge and then we segue into the 4-H pledge. And when you're looking at the flags from left to right, the US flag should always be placed on the left of the 4-H flag. And we do have flags at our office, so if you needed to borrow some for a club meeting or an event, just let me know. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you. I often say that 4-H would not be possible without volunteers, and that's the truth. In Alpena, we have 21 club leaders, 50 resource leaders, and 25 episodic volunteers. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to volunteer and make 4-H successful. We have just under 200 4-H members, and that wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you again for your dedication to helping us make the best better right here in Alpena County. Before I introduce these next two staff members, I wanted to explain why they're going to be so important to you in the upcoming year. My husband and I are expecting our first child this January, so I will be on maternity leave for 12 weeks starting sometime in January. So Jessica and Sienna will really be your go-to person during this time. Jessica's our staff support for the whole extension office. She's been with us for just about a year now and does an awesome job with answering 4-H questions, helping you enroll in 4-H online, and help giving you necessary information. Sienna is a 4-H supervisor. She does cover multiple counties. She's extremely knowledgeable with our 4-H program here in Alpena. If you do have a 4-H related question or concern, your first point of contact would be Jessica. If she's not able to answer your question, she'll then direct you to Sienna. With Sienna covering multiple counties, it could be harder to get in touch with her. So I suggest starting with Jessica and moving to Sienna if Jessica's not able to answer your question. Now I wanted to take a minute to explain the resources you have for this leader update meeting. As you'll see in the corner, there's a little paper airplane. If you see a paper airplane on a slide, that means you received a handout to go along with that slide. I did email everybody PDFs of the resources to go along with the video, and I also hard copy mailed them to you as well. When we went over the civil rights statement a few slides ago, I talked about how MSU does not partner with groups or organizations that discriminate. We do have a local partner compliance letter. So if your club is going to be partnering with another organization outside of 4-H, we do like to ask them to fill out a local partner compliance letter. And that's just them signing that they understand MSU doesn't discriminate and that we don't partner with groups or individuals that do discriminate. So it's them saying that they agree with that, support that decision, and that they do not discriminate. So if you're going to be partnering with another group, please get a hold of me and we can coordinate together to have them sign this civil rights statement. The Michigan 4-H Volunteer Code of Conduct is vital to your volunteerism with Alpena County 4-H. You all have a copy of this in your handout packet. So we're going to read through the Volunteer Code of Conduct, and if you have any questions about this, feel free to contact me after you complete your training. As an MSU Extension volunteer, you are promising that you will accept responsibility to represent Michigan 4-H and MSU Extension programs with dignity and pride by being a positive role model. Respect, adhere to, and enforce the rules, policies, and guidelines established by local, state, and national 4-H and MSU Extension programs, and be courteous and respectful in dealings with other program participants and MSU staff. Abstain from and not tolerate physical or verbal abuse of others through direct interactions or through use of social media or other communication venues. Comply with equal opportunity and anti-discrimination laws. Avoid criminal activities. Under no circumstances possess, sell, or consume alcohol, or possess, sell, or use controlled substances at an MSU Extension activity or event. Refrain from the use of tobacco, tobacco products, electronic cigarettes, etc. while serving in a volunteer capacity at 4-H events and activities. Under no circumstances attend or participate in an MSU Extension activity or event under the influence of alcohol and/or other controlled substances. Operate machinery, vehicles, and other equipment in a responsible manner. Report a violation of the Code of Conduct of which I am aware to an MSU Extension staff member or the person in charge of the program. It is expected that all Michigan State University Extension volunteers comply with the Code of Conduct. Failure to comply with any component of the code or participation in other inappropriate conduct as determined by an MSU Extension representative may lead to dismissal as a volunteer from the MSU Extension program. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the Volunteer Code of Conduct that I just read out loud, please feel free to contact me. The State 4-H office highly suggests that we review this at least once per year with our 4-H members at a regular club meeting. I can also provide copies of the Member Volunteer Code of Conduct that is also included in your packet. So I do suggest reading over that at one of your meetings sometime in the upcoming 4-H year. The MSU Extension volunteer selection process is another important aspect of our 4-H program. I'm sure you've heard me say the VSP process. The volunteer selection process is a requirement in order to be alone with a 4-H member. So what that means is you as a club leader have completed our volunteer selection process. So you are able to lead a 4-H club and be alone with a 4-H member as an individual or a group. However, if there's parents or community members that are helping with your club, they would not be able to help split up the group and take a group of kids unless you were in that same vicinity. So I do suggest if you have someone in the club that's been helping out, that you have them go through our volunteer selection process. So if they are accepted as a volunteer, they're able to assist you with that. There are different levels of volunteering with Alpena 4-H. So we have our club leaders. We have our resource leaders. A resource leader is someone that has completed the volunteer selection process. It could be a co-club leader, or it might just be someone that helps out occasionally. And then we also have episodic volunteers. An episodic volunteer is someone that just helps out occasionally and not on a routine basis. And an episodic volunteer has not been through the volunteer selection process, so they cannot be alone with a 4-H member. If you're not sure if someone has been through the volunteer process, please contact me and I can let you know. There are some state 4-H updates I wanted to highlight at our leader update meetings this year. The first is the MSU grant policy. If your 4-H club is interested in applying for a grant, there are some new steps that are going to have to be taken. So the first step is we have to submit the grant application to MSU to get reviewed. That is done because sometimes applications will say that it's a grant, but it might be more of a gift of money. If it is a gift of money, we don't have to have the actual grant, the completed grant application, reviewed by MSU. If it is deemed to be a grant, then we do have to have MSU review our grant application because we do have to have an educator with MSU sign the grant as the principal investigator. So the principal investigator on grants cannot be you and it cannot be me. Next, I wanted to go over the MSU contract policy. All contracts have to be sent to MSU to get reviewed. They do need at least 3 weeks to review contracts. However, I would highly suggest like 6 weeks so we can ensure that we have an adequate amount of time to get contracts reviewed. And this is so MSU can look for wording and verbiage to ensure that it fits with the MSU liability and insurance policy. So if your club is looking at hosting an event or something that's not housed on the fairgrounds or at the extension office and a contract is required to be signed, please coordinate with me so we can ensure that gets reviewed. The third update is the American Income Life Insurance, and this actually kind of segues into the next update as well on the 4-H participation fee increase of $20. Our 4-H par fee did increase for the current 4-H year starting on September 1st, so it's now $20 per 4-H member or $60 per family of 3 or more 4-H members that live in the same household. The state 4-H office is paying the American Income Life Insurance. So all our Alpena 4-H members actually have additional insurance. It's considered a secondary insurance to their primary insurance. So, but an update on the American Income Life Insurance is that only covers 4-H events and activities. So, for example, at the Alpena County Fair, we are not a 4-H fair, so the American Income Life Insurance would only be covered for 4-H activities and events that take place at the fair. So that's something I wanted to make sure all our leaders are aware of. So for instance, market classes at the Alpena County Fair would be covered by the American Income Life Insurance. Regular fitting and showmanship classes would not, since they are not 4-H classes. So those are a couple updates I have, and if you have any questions, please just get a hold of me after you're done with your training. Some needs in our Alpena County 4-H program are more 4-H clubs. So I wanted to take a second to talk about that and first ask, what are the activities that your club's active with? Number 1, so we can ensure that it's updated in 4-H Online. And then also I want you to start thinking about how many members can your club have this year? The minimum requirements of a 4-H club are to hold at least 6 meetings per year. You must have at least 2 families in your club, and you must have at least 5 members in your club. So I want you to start thinking about how many members you're able to hold in your club. Often 4-H members will start coming in between September and I'd say probably April, looking for 4-H clubs. So if I know whether your club's kind of reached capacity, then I can start directing members to other clubs. So please start thinking about that so you can let me know. And also, if you could start thinking about maybe community members, parents that might be good at helping start a 4-H club in Alpena. I like to say that everybody is an expert in something. So there's something that they could bring to our 4-H program. We're definitely in need of more livestock 4-H clubs. Those could be a specific type of livestock species, or they could be a livestock variety. But we're also in need of other 4-H clubs such as gardening, crafts. So we really could use, in general, more clubs to help direct our youth too. We have a need in our community, so now we just have to work on identifying those key volunteers to help take on that role. So if you're able to help, that would be great. I wanted to share our 4-H enrollment with you for the 2016-2017 4-H year. As you can see from this past year, our 4-H members did decline. I do not have a specific reason to attribute that to at this time. One thing I do suspect is that 4-H members were active with their clubs, but they didn't enroll. So that's one thing I really want to push this year and ask you leaders to help me with, is ensuring that every 4-H member enrolls in 4-H. One thing I didn't talk about earlier when I mentioned the 4-H participation fee increase to $20 was that $20 will not be a barrier to a 4-H member joining our program under no circumstances. That's our mission at the state level, and that's definitely our mission here in Alpena County. We will never turn away a 4-H member because of their inability to pay. So as a leader, please help promote enrolling in 4-H to the youth that are active in your club, explaining that it's a 2-step process. They have to enroll in 4-H online, and then they also have to turn in their 4-H participation fee or complete a scholarship. And if they do complete a scholarship, no questions asked, they are granted that waiver for the participation fee. If you look at our club leader and our volunteer numbers too, so one thing I wanted to touch on the club leader numbers, it does look like they've significantly declined over the past couple years. That is a little bit misleading. I did change how I accounted for the club leaders in this graph. So the 21 club leaders that were listed for last year, those are our 21 primary club leaders. A lot of our clubs have secondary or co-leaders. Those co-leaders and secondary leaders are now listed just under volunteers. So I'd say really combining those numbers together is to kind of give you a better idea of where we're at with our volunteer numbers. So they have greatly increased over the past few years. So we are doing really good with volunteers. So now we just need to work on getting all our youth enrolled in 4-H and getting some more clubs going for our youth to enroll in. I wanted to talk about our 4-H social media sources that we're using. We just got done talking about our 4-H enrollment, and how do we reach those 4-H members, I think, is really important. Our biggest way with communication right now, we still do hard copy newsletter mailings, but we're also doing a lot of social media posts. So we do have a 4-H Snapchat that we use. We have a 4-H Instagram page and a Facebook page. So if you do have any of those social media sites, please add us. I do regularly use the Instagram, and Jessica routinely updates our Facebook page. So those are the two that we primarily use, and we do post on our Snapchat occasionally as well. As well as promoting on social media, we also use the Alpena MSU Extension website page for a lot of our 4-H material. I don't think a lot of people are aware that resources they're looking for are available on our website. So we have a lot of different tabs. You can see over on the left, we have an Alpena County 4-H main heading tab. That just has some basic information about what is 4-H. We have a Join 4-H tab that has all the information you need to know about enrolling in 4-H. It has the link for our 4-H online website to do the online enrollment. It also has the 4-H participation fee scholarship application. And it also has information if someone is interested in volunteering with 4-H. It does have the volunteer application. Our 4-H newsletter section has every single newsletter we've mailed out in the past 2-3 years. Our Alpena County Fair tab has all our award applications from Fair from this past year. It has our results from Fair from the past year, from 2017. And then we also put the Fair schedule and other information as soon as it becomes available to us. The Market Animal Sale tab, that is the tab that's actually highlighted on the screen right here. And as you can see, we have our market sale rules, we have our market club rules, we have record books also available further if you scroll down on the website. So anything market related is available. We do have a scholarship section. On the scholarship section on our website, we have information regarding the up to $100 mileage reimbursement that our 4-H Council offers. We also have information on the $30 educational event or activity scholarship that Alpena 4-H Council offers. And then we also have information on the Youth Day Scholarship that Alpena Council offers. We have a County Awards Banquet tab that has information on County Awards Banquet, summer camp, our summer camp information, registration forms on there. In our 4-H advisory groups, there's some information. So basically, anytime you're looking for a form, I would suggest checking the MSU Extension website because there's a good chance what you're looking for is already available on the website. I wanted to talk over some of the important 4-H dates and deadlines coming up. I'm not going to hit on the main activities. We'll talk about those in the upcoming slides. So just a quick reminder of that October 2nd County Awards application deadline. So please get those in, your leader nominations for awards, and please push individual project awards for your members. If you need the September newsletter with all the applications, it is available on our website. Or if you need me to print off copies of sheets for you, please let me know. I can do that as well. Our County Awards Banquet's October 22nd, so please make sure that's on your calendar to attend. Our Horse Banquet is November 12th, so please have that on your calendar as well. Just a reminder that November 16th is our club re-enrollment date, so all your club paperwork will be due by that deadline. Our December 1st deadline for finished beef is another important one. Please make sure if any 4-H members are thinking of doing a finished beef, they're enrolled in 4-H, both steps, including the online and participation fee or scholarship. Make sure they do that by December 1st. And then the second part about enrolling their finished beef is that they must submit the electronic identification number to our office for the finished beef they plan on marketing in 2018. Just a reminder that I will be on maternity leave January through March. Don't forget about our March 1st deadline for enrolling. And then we'll go over some of the upcoming things in the next slide. Before we start talking about events, I just wanted to go over our newsletter mailing schedule really quick. I've had a lot of leaders ask about when are they sent, so I wanted to give kind of a brief overview. We send 4 to 5 newsletters a year, hard copy through the mail. We also have them on our website, and we also try to email them to leaders. So we normally send a newsletter in January, a couple months before Youth Day. We send one in February, about a month before Youth Day. Our June newsletter is kind of optional. It's nice to send out if we're able to, so we can include the fair schedule. In August, about 2 months before County Awards Banquet, we do another newsletter. And then in October, we do one about a month before County Awards. So if you have information you're interested in publishing in the newsletter that is related to 4-H, please contact me and I can ensure that that can get put in. Okay, now I'm going to jump into some of our big activities and events here in Alpena County. So Happy New Year! September 1st marked the start of the 2017-2018 4-H year. So what this means is that every single 4-H member and every single volunteer in Alpena needs to re-enroll. So this is actually really important for volunteers because it helps you maintain your VSP, which is your volunteer selection process status. So if you don't re-enroll in 4-H online by August 31st, 2018, you will be dropped from having the VSP process and you'll have to recomplete that if you're interested in continuing to volunteer. So long story short, please log in and enroll in 4-H online. Alpena County 4-H does have a 2-mile stretch of highway that we do adopt out in front of Long Rapids Hall. We do clean up 3 times per year in the fall, spring, and summer. Our spring Adopt a Highway cleanup is kind of our biggest cleanup we do. Our council always provides dinner for everybody. So we really are actually looking for a couple 4-H clubs that would be interested in helping take over our July and September Adopt a Highway cleanup. So if you would be interested in volunteering to do that, and it doesn't have to be an every single year thing, but maybe if you could plan to do the July 2018 cleanup or the fall 2018 cleanup, please let me know. We do have our fall cleanup actually scheduled for this Tuesday, September 26th. So if you're able to help with that, please let me know. We're scheduled at 5:45 p.m. at Long Rapids Hall. The Tractor Supply Paper Clover campaign is a big initiative we're active with here in Alpena. It happens every October and every April, and our 4-H program volunteers at the 2 Saturdays during the campaign. It's a time when customers can donate $1 to purchase a 4-H paper clover. 4-H members volunteer to help carry purchases out to customers' vehicles and more. 70% of the funds go to the state and county 4-H program, and 30% of the funds raised go to the National 4-H Council. In the spring of 2015, we actually set a new store record and we sold 1,055 paper clovers. This is a great opportunity for your club to volunteer to do a community service project. We do have a sign up coming up for October 7th and 14th, so if you're able to help, please let me know. We do 2-hour time periods from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. each day. The funds raised from the Tractor Supply Paper Clover campaign locally are used to help enhance our educational scholarship opportunities. We talked about County Awards Banquet a little bit earlier. Just a reminder, it is on October 22nd. It's our end of year wrap up where we recognize 4-H members for their accomplishments over the past year. So please mark that on your calendar if you're able to attend. It really is a great opportunity to help cheer on the 4-Hers and recognize them for all that they've accomplished. 4-H State Awards are the highest honor a 4-H member can receive. This is where a 4-H member creates a professional portfolio of their 4-H experiences, and they focus in on one particular area. Portfolios are reviewed on a regional basis, and if forwarded on to the state for consideration, they do travel to Lansing where they'll complete an interview, and they will be honored at a banquet held in June at 4-H Exploration Days. In the 2013-2014 4-H year, we actually had 2 state award winners. So Brandon Borky and Caitlin Borky were both first place winners in their project categories. We have not had any nominees since then, so I'm really hoping to push this. So leaders, if you have a 4-H member that's 13 to 19 years old, 4-H age, and is just really an outstanding youth, please help encourage them to apply and get recognized for this. It is the highest honor a 4-H member can receive. There is no 4-H national award, so this is the highest placing that they can be awarded. A state recognition opportunity for younger 4-H members that are not eligible to apply for state awards is the Mark of Excellence Essay Contest. In the 2015-2016 4-H year, we did have a participant locally, Molly Thomas. She wrote her essay, "Because of 4-H, I Can," and her essay focused on her involvement with raising poultry. And one of the neat aspects was we had Molly read her essay to our local county commissioners in our Youth and Rec Committee, and it was such a wonderful opportunity to showcase 4-H to our local stakeholders. So if you do have a 4-H member that's interested in being recognized and is interested in writing, they can submit an essay for this. We submit 2 state nominees locally, and that's the process. Each county has 2 state winners, so it really is a neat opportunity to recognize a younger 4-H member for their involvement. Their essays are published at the state level in the state 4-H office, and we do keep a copy locally as well. The next important event in Alpena 4-H is our March 1st deadline of enrollment. In order to be eligible to market livestock at the 2018 Alpena County Fair, a 4-H member must be enrolled in our 4-H program by March 1st. This includes their online enrollment and their participation fee or scholarship. Another important aspect of this deadline is that after March 1st, we no longer send 4-H contact to the members from the previous year. So this means if a 4-H member does not enroll by March 1st, they'll no longer receive our newsletters, email reminders, or other correspondence. So it really is important for all members to re-enroll by March 1st, so they're staying in the constant contact with all things 4-H related. Youth Day is one of our major events here in Alpena County. It's a great opportunity for youth to be recognized for their winter projects. The way Youth Day works is that 4-H members participate in individual projects and then also group projects. For the individual projects, we have over 18 different project categories. Here's a list of the project categories from the previous year. So 4-H members actually present their project to a judge one-on-one, and they get feedback right at that time. They get a ribbon. And then our judge will pick a best of show out of all the youth that gave a project in that category. And then we also have group projects that are presented that aren't listed here, but we have a 4-H clubs category, we have a performing arts category, we have a speeches category, and a demonstration category as well for group projects. It really is a neat opportunity to actually see what 4-H is as a whole. Our clubs each set up a club display, so it's a great way to meet other club leaders, other 4-H members. Exploration Days is a pre-college program at Michigan State University. It's an awesome opportunity to get youth excited about pursuing a higher education. They actually stay on campus in the dorms, they eat in the cafeteria, and they actually go to class. 4-H members get to choose the classes they take. There's over 200 different classes to choose from. They range from livestock related, there's tennis, Quidditch, ice skating, swimming, you name it, they have it. It's a pretty awesome opportunity to get them excited about college, but also it helps teach them those time management skills so they get to class on time, planning, independence. It really is a neat opportunity. Alpena County 4-H partners with 4 other counties to host a summer camp every year the end of June. As you can see from our summer camp enrollment, we've had quite a few 4-Hers. Each county gets 13 spots, so we have filled our spots and actually taken some other counties' spots. So if you do have a 4-H member ages 9 to 12 that's interested in attending, please direct them to summer camp and make sure they enroll right away. And you actually don't have to be in 4-H to attend summer camp. There's just an additional $20 charge, which is to enroll them in 4-H. A promotional event that our 4-H program participates in annually is the Trunk or Treat here in Alpena County. It's a neat opportunity for us to reach 1,000 youth and give them information about joining 4-H. Our 4-H of the year typically coordinates this event. If you're interested in helping out, please let me know. Another promotional event that we participate in is the Boland's Jewelry Holiday Parade, which takes place the Friday after Thanksgiving annually. Our 4-H member of the year coordinates our float. We're always in need of volunteers to help with building the float as well as walking in the float. So if you, any members, or your club is interested in helping this year, please let me know. Earlier, we talked about the requirements for a 4-H club to meet at least 6 times per year. A neat opportunity for 4-H clubs is the Healthy Clubs, Healthy Youth program. What this involves is our program instructor, Amy Atwell, to come in and help teach 4 of your club meetings. This would involve her doing an activity each meeting focused around health and nutrition. So it might be one meeting might focus on exercise, one meeting might focus on eating healthy, etc. So it's really a neat opportunity to help meet your club requirement as well as bringing in someone else to facilitate that meeting. So if you're interested in that, please let me know and I can put you in touch with Amy. Alpena County 4-H is fortunate to receive the Kids in Need donations from our local Joann fabric store. So what this means is we get all the discontinued items from Joann's, and it's our job to help place them within the community. So we really try to focus on letting our club leaders review materials when we get them to see if they're usable for your club, and if not, then we try to place them with other nonprofit organizations. So examples of items we might get donated include ribbon, yarn, giveaways, t-shirts, fabric, beads. We get a lot of different craft related items. So if you're interested in ever looking through that stuff to see if you can use it, please stop by our office or let me know. Next, I wanted to touch base on our fairgrounds and MSU Extension office use policy. So if you're interested in using the fairgrounds for your club meeting, you're able to. There's just a process to go through. So you do have a handout on the fairgrounds use. So just a quick overview is if you need to use the fairgrounds for a meeting, whether it's the horse arena or the merchants building or one of the barns, you have to contact me with the date you're interested in. I'll touch base with our fairgrounds supervisor. If the date's available, you'll have to come fill some paperwork out. And then the only other step is if you are planning on doing a fundraiser at your event, you will have to complete a fundraising request. And that is done so we can determine if tax needs to be charged on your fundraiser and that sort of thing. And then if you're interested in using the MSU Extension conference room, you can call Jessica, our office staff support, to see if the date and time you're looking for is available, and she can sign you in, and you can just check out our conference room key if you're using it after hours. 4-H participation fee grants was something we touched on at our leader update meetings last year. I wanted to go over it again this year because the deadlines are going to be a little bit different. 4-H volunteers have asked about how they can get funds to help with some of the projects they want to complete. Applying for a 4-H participation fee grant is a great way to do that. They like to fund new and innovative ideas and activities. If you're interested in applying for a grant, there is a process. Letters of intent are due by February 28th, and when I say due, that means they're due to the state 4-H office. However, I will be on maternity leave during this time, so letters of intent and the grant application are going to be due 2 weeks before the deadline to ensure Sienna has enough time to submit them. With her covering multiple counties and filling in for me temporarily, it really is going to make it difficult. So please, if you're interested in applying for a grant, you can start filling that out now. You do have the grant application from 2017, and we don't anticipate any changes for the 2018 year. We have had 4-H clubs receive grants in the past, so I just wanted to highlight their achievement quick. So our 4-H welding club, the 4-H archery club, the ROV club, and the plastics float club have each received a participation fee grant. So if you have a new project you want to do, this is a great way to help get the funds in order to do so. And I will say it is a competitive grant process, so applying does not guarantee you funds. We did talk about re-enrolling in 4-H for the new year, but I wanted to quickly touch base on the 4-H online system. So you do have a handout with information on how to enroll, and just a reminder, all of you were volunteers this past year, so you all have a profile. So don't try to set up a new profile. You'll log into your existing account. And if you have any trouble logging in, please contact Jessica, and she can easily just reset your password for you quick. And we also have a computer at our office you're more than welcome to use to re-enroll. So you'll log into your family, and then you'll click the edit button to re-enroll. So edit will be listed next to each member in your family. Check your information and you'll submit it. Things to remember about 4-H Online is that each 4-H family must have their own 4-H Online profile. So what this means is, as a leader, you don't want to put members under your profile because they're not going to get any 4-H contact information because we send that out by family. So they wouldn't get newsletters, they wouldn't get email reminders. So make sure they each make their own profile. Leaders cannot digitally sign for 4-H members unless you're their parent. And just remember to re-enroll for the new year. I've had a lot of leaders ask, what can you do in 4-H Online? A lot of times people only use the system to re-enroll and that's it. But as a leader, you can actually log back in and view your club. So you can see who's in your club, so you know who's re-enrolled for the 4-H year. You can view your members' projects. You can pull reports such as printing mailing labels and more. There is a lot as a leader you can do in 4-H Online. However, you can't view anyone in your club until you as a leader re-enroll and are approved as a volunteer. Another main focus of our leader update meetings in 2016 was the new 4-H financial manuals. I just wanted to quickly highlight those. So if you do have questions regarding fundraising, opening a bank account, how do I know if tax is charged on something? The 4-H financial manual is really your guide in order to do that. And I can also assist with that. Our guide is available on the MSU Extension website. Club re-enrollment forms. What is needed from you as a leader? So you would have received a packet via email and in the mail with all these forms. So forms 1 through 6. So I'm just going to briefly go over each form, and then there's also more information in your packet. The first thing I need from you is your year-end review. This is where you can provide some brief feedback for the past year, and also provide information where you anticipate your club meetings to be held for the 2017-18 year. Please do not list leaders' residence or public locations. The reason I'm asking for the other locations is because I am required to run a sex offender check on the premises where clubs are held. So if you're meeting at a place besides a leader's house or a public place, I do have to run a check. This would include running a check on a 4-H member's residence or another location. The second thing I need from you is a financial statement and a club inventory. Even if your club did not have any funds over the past year or any inventory over the past year, you still do have to complete this form. The third thing I need from you is a signed civil rights statement. So you're signing that you understand MSU does not discriminate. The fourth thing I need from you is to attach a copy of your 4-H club's minutes and sign-in sheet from one of the past 6 meetings you had over the year. If your club does not have minutes, just attach a sign-in sheet. The fifth thing I need from you is for you to attach a copy of your treasurer's report from one of the past 6 meetings you had. If your club does not conduct treasurer's reports because you do not have a treasury, you could write on a piece of paper, my 4-H club did not have any funds during the 2016-2017 year. And there's more information on that in the packet. The sixth and final thing I need from you is to complete a leader update survey. This is an opportunity for you to provide feedback on what works. How can I better support you as a 4-H leader and make our leader update meetings more beneficial? Like I said earlier, we're trying something new with doing them online virtually. So please provide your feedback on your preference for the meetings. All of these forms are due to the MSU Extension office by November 16th, 2017 at 4:30 p.m. So please make sure these forms are all turned in. This deadline is firm. If you don't have your paperwork in by this deadline, we will start the process to close out your 4-H club. And please note, if you're planning on closing out your club, you still are required to complete this paperwork because it's for the past 4-H year. If you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to ask or wait until that deadline. Let me know right away. So before we end today, I just wanted to hit the important dates one more time. So October 2nd, our county awards applications are due. October 22nd is our county awards banquet. November 16th is our club re-enrollment paperwork deadline. December 1st is our finished beef registration. January through March, I will be on maternity leave and out of the office, so you will have to contact Jessica for your 4-H related questions. March 1st is our deadline to be eligible to market livestock, and our March 18th is our youth day. A special thank you to you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to complete our leader update meeting this year. I really appreciate your dedication and support of our 4-H program. 4-H in Alpena truly would not be possible without you. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.